divine light of the self. Today let us contemplate on the nature of the world, or the nature of the universe. We see a vast universe, a infinite universe when we wake up in the morning. In deep sleep, there is no universe, and there's no my body or mind or the universe altogether. When you wake up, there's a I thought comes up, the body comes up, and the world appears. Compared to the universe, compared to the world, I look very small. I'm very small. I'm not even a dust in this whole universe. I feel small. I'm insecure. I'm little. And the whole world is so big. And this gives rise to a feeling of insecurity and fear in me. Always I am competing for survival. I am competing for existence. But the real nature of the world, once we understand, our fear disappears. The world which I see, which I experience, is a projection from consciousness, is an appearance in consciousness. In deep sleep, my body and the world all disappear in consciousness, pure awareness. It is not there. Only I exist as pure awareness beyond time and space. In deep sleep, I don't experience time and space. So that's my real nature, pure existence. But on waking up, the world appears. The body and the world is projected. It's a projection, not reality. How do we understand the real nature of the world? In different ways, we can understand the world. What I call objects of the world are nothing but name and form. Nama, Rupa, name and form. The name and form is a thought in my mind. Name and form is a thought. Every object in the universe is a thought. The sun is a thought, the earth is a thought, moon is a thought. Everything is a thought. And there's also a thought that I am the observer of this. I thought is there. For any experience, there's I thought and the object thought. It's called aham vritti and idam vritti. There's I thought and thought of the objects of the world. Right? I thought and thought of the objects of the world. So where do these thoughts appear and disappear? Consciousness. Without consciousness, there is no thought possible. Without consciousness, thoughts cannot exist. Thoughts appear and disappear in consciousness. So what is thought made up of? Thought is made up of consciousness only. Thought is made up of consciousness only. Otherwise, thought cannot exist. Thought appears in consciousness and disappears in consciousness. Right? So the I thought appears in consciousness and disappears in consciousness. The thoughts of the objects of the world appear in consciousness and disappear in consciousness. So everything in the world is nothing but thought, and thought is nothing but consciousness. So what is world then? World is nothing but consciousness only, appearing as world. And what is consciousness? Is myself. My real nature, pure consciousness, appears as thought and appears as world. Of course, it appears as a body also. When I say my nature, it is not that individual I'm speaking of. The real nature, real I. Real I is consciousness. In deep sleep, there's no body, there's no mind, there's no world. Okay. And when I wake up, this body and the world appears. First it appears as thought and then it appears as a perception. Correct? World is nothing but perception. Perception in terms of 5 sense organs: sight, sound, touch, smell. Ultimately, it is thought, and thought is consciousness. So, in reality, is there a world out there? Is there a world out there? The world is nothing but thought, right? So, this out there, in there is also a thought. Outside the world, inside the world is also a thought. What is out, what is in is a thought. The world is a thought. What is out and what is in is a thought. The moment I see the world as a thought, there is no world actually. There is no perception. It's already thought only. Is it a thought? Thought is nothing but appearance in consciousness. Thought appears and disappears. Then what is really there? Is consciousness alone. All the time. That consciousness is called Brahman or Atma, the self. This we experience all the time throughout the day. In any perception, the world is perceived. Perception is nothing but a thought, which is nothing but consciousness. And in between thought, there is a gap where my nature shines. I am pure consciousness. So, in between thoughts, in between feelings, my nature is there as the self. That self is called Turiya or awareness. It's always there. And when thought appears, the consciousness takes the form of the thought and the world. So then, the world is consciousness, the body is consciousness, the world is thought, body is thought, and thought is consciousness. And I am that consciousness. I am consciousness, the real I. So that being so, there is no separation between the world and me. There's only one reality called consciousness. If there's one reality called consciousness, why there is a fear for me? Why there is a stress? I don't see this reality. I associate myself with a limited body and mind rather than associating with the consciousness. I don't think I am the consciousness. I don't feel I am the consciousness. I associate myself with the body and mind. I am the body, I am the mind. It's also a thought. Instead of identifying with the consciousness, I identify with the thought. That's why Ramana Maharshi asks, find out who you are. So I'm not the thought. The thought is an appearance in consciousness. I am that consciousness. So the moment you recognize you are the consciousness, all that is there is consciousness only. Of course, what appears, the world appears and disappears, but I, as consciousness, is always there. I am always there. That's why there's a sloka in the Ashtavakra Samhita 2.18. Na me bandhosti moksho va bhranti shanta nirashraya ahomai sthitam vishwam vastuto na mai sthitam. And for me, there is no, this is a Ashtavakra Samhita 2.18. There is no bondage or there is no freedom. I don't feel there is no bondage and freedom. All this appearance, which is only illusion, not real. There is no basis for that. I am at peace all the time. The world, entire universe exists in me. First he says, entire universe exists in me. Then immediately says, in reality, there is no world in me. Entire world exists in me. In reality, there is no world. How do we understand this? First we understand that the entire world is an appearance that we know because in deep sleep, everything disappears. In the waking state, the body and the world appears. That means the body and world is a projection. It's an appearance. Okay? It's not a reality. So where is the world appearing? The entire world. The world is so universe. The Vishwam says. Universe is so infinite universe. Infinite universe is in the space. Okay? This space is called Bhuta Akasha, or the physical space. Such a vast universe is there in Bhuta Akasha, or physical space. Where is the physical space? It is in my mind. The physical space in my mind. It's a thought in my mind. So my mental space is called Chitta Akasha, is much bigger than the physical space. Mental space is much bigger than the physical space. In the mental space, the body also appears. The body also is appearing that. Right? The mental space is bigger than the physical space. Entire universe is in my mind. And where is the mind? Mind is nothing but thoughts. Where is the mind? Mind is appearing and disappearing consciousness. And who am I? I am the consciousness. This is what Ashtavakra is trying to tell. Okay. The world is world for our sense organs, it appears to be outside. In reality, the entire world what you see is nothing but a small image in your brain. So the world is in your brain, actually, a small image. And your body is also a small image in the brain. And the body and the world are nothing but thoughts in the mind. So such a big universe is nothing but thought in the mind. And where is the mind? Mind is a thought which is appearing and disappearing consciousness. And who is that consciousness? I am that consciousness. So I am infinite reality. So this is what Ashtavakra is saying. So he says first he says the world is in me. Next moment he says there is nothing in reality, there is nothing in me. The world is in me, first says. Then the world, nothing is in reality in me. Correct? So here he is speaking of three aspects of the self. As Jiva, I am experiencing the world as sight, touch, smell, taste. Five senses. The world for me is made up of, I can see the world through five sense organs. Alright? The Ashtavakra first says world is an appearance through five sense organs. Immediately he says the world is the world is in me. Okay, the world is in me. Where is in me? The mind. The entire world is in the mind, right? And I am observer of the world. Now, first question is I am the body Jiva. As the Jiva, I am experiencing the world as through five sense organs. And where is the world? It's in the mind. World is in me, that means it's in the mind. Okay. And it shines in me. It shines because of me. Here he is taking the position Sakshi, the witness. Witness of the thought. The Sakshi sees the world in the form of thoughts, appears and disappears. Right? So he says the world is in me. He says as Sakshi. The next moment he says, in reality, the world is not in me. He is now Kutastha, Atma. Right? There are three positions for us. When I say Jiva, it takes the position I am the body. Then the world is nothing but gross objects. The world appears to be there, out there. The moment I say the world is nothing but thoughts, the world is in me, in my mind. Now I am taking the position as Sakshi, the witness. Sakshi is witnessing thoughts appearing and disappearing. So still the world is there. The world is in me, but I am seeing the world. Thoughts appearing and disappearing. Right? From Jiva, I become Sakshi. Now I'm not even Sakshi, I'm Kutastha, consciousness, pure awareness, where there is no world at all in me. In deep sleep or Turiya, where is the world? There's no world also. The thoughts have merged back into the self. The thoughts are not there. There's no world in me. So these three things he says in one single sloka. As Jiva, how you experience the world. As Sakshi, how you experience the world. And as Kutastha, Atma, how you experience the world. As Kutastha, Atma, there's no world at all. As Jiva, I'm experiencing the world which is not real, appearance, projection. As Sakshi, I'm observing, seeing the world in me, as in the mind, as thoughts, right? Sakshi sees the world in the form of thoughts. Sakshi lights up the thoughts. Sakshi lights up the perception in the form of thoughts. Sakshi sees the world in the form of thoughts. So first time Jiva, then Sakshi, then Atma or Kutastha. So these three positions he speaks in one single shloka. Where is the world really in reality? The world appears to be outside, but it's really in me, in my mind, and the mind is appearance and disappearance consciousness. So really the world is in consciousness, and that's not real because it appears and disappears. So it's almost like saying the water says, okay, from the point of view of the water, there's no wave at all. Is there a wave in the point of view of water? From the point of view of gold, there's no jewelry at all. All is gold. Similarly, from the point of view of Kutastha or the Atma, there is no world. So from these three positions he speaks. Who? Ashtavakra Rishi. Is this clear? So when I say the world is real and I'm experiencing the world, I'm Jiva. When I say the world is nothing but a thought, appearing and disappearing, then I'm Sakshi. When I say there's no world, I am Brahman, Kutastha. All the three are possibility for us. So which possibility you live your life is the question. Depending upon the time. Depending on the time. Right? So this Upanishad in Drakdrashi Viveka, there's a description of the world. The world is described as Asti Bhati Priyam Nama Rupa Iti Prapancha. Asti Bhati Nama Asti Bhati Priyam Nama Rupatmakam Prapancha. The world has 5 characteristics. Asti means existence. Bhati means shine. Nama means name. Priyam means desirable. Nama means name. And Rupa means form. These are the 5 characteristics of the world. Right? The world or the universe The essence of the world or universe is called Brahman, or the supreme reality. The essence of me is called Atma. Essence of me, the Jiva, is called Atma. The essence of the universe, the totality, is called Brahman, Brahat, infinity. The totality is infinity, Brahat, Brahman. The essence of me is called Atma. The Atma is same as Brahman. I'm not different from the Brahman. So now, when I associate myself, when the Atma is associated with the body, Atma appears as body, it's called Jiva. Right? When I think myself as a body, I am Jiva. The moment I think of myself as body, then the whole world is infinite. And I am small being. So here, if I ask you, do you exist? Do you exist? What are you saying? You say, I exist. Right? Are you conscious? Yes, I am conscious. So, I exist is called Sat. Existence is called Sat. And that I can call it as Asmi. I am. I am conscious is called Chit. Okay. It's called Bhati. Asmi and Bhati is my nature. This everybody knows. Nobody has to understand anything from the scripture. Correct? Nobody has to understand anything from the scripture. As I exist and I am conscious. That's why when I say I am, the I is pointing to consciousness, am is pointing to existence. I am, always I speak. I am very sure I exist. I don't have doubt anytime that I exist. Is it true? So when you are in a room, dark room, if I ask you a question, is there a chair? You say, I don't know. If you say, is there a table? I don't know. Do you exist? You say, I exist. Okay. I am or I exist is always for sure we know. That means I know I am existence. I know I am consciousness. Right? This is very certain for us. Then if I ask you the question, why do you exist? Why do you say you exist in the room? You say, because of the body. So you are associating yourself with the body, which is not correct. Okay. The body is a name and form. You should learn how to separate the name and form from the real you. That is the teaching of Vedanta. I exist, I am conscious is the reality. But I am the body is an association. Everything in the world is nothing but a name and form. A table, a chair, everything is a name and form. But when I associate the name and form called body, I feel limited. And throughout my life, I don't accept this limitation. I don't want this limitation. Right? I want to exist. I want to survive somehow. Survival, I fight because I want to continue this existence infinitely. Right? I want to exist infinitely for infinite duration. Existence I want to extend. Correct? I want to exist forever. So, a finite existence is not acceptable to me. The finite existence as a body is not acceptable to me. I want to exist infinitely. Then I want to know more knowledge. Because ignorance is not acceptable to me. Somewhere I have curiosity for knowledge. I want to know more. That means I want to extend my knowledge infinitely. I want to extend my existence infinitely. I want to extend my knowledge infinitely. The infinite is called Ananta, infinity. Right? So what I am missing in life is called Ananta. Existence and consciousness is there in my life. What is missing in my life is Ananta, infinity. Right? Ananta. And that infinity or Ananta is called Ananda, bliss. If I am infinite, I am blissful. Okay. Throughout my life, I am looking for infinity and I am missing the infinity because the whole universe, big universe is standing in front of me. Related to the universe, I am small. Right? Yes or no? Related to the universe, I am small. Okay. Now, in universe, if I look at universe, everything is name and form, nama and rupa. Okay. And who is aware of that nama and rupa? I am aware. It shines in me. I shine. Okay. Asti, bhati, priyam, nama, rupa. Everything in the universe exists. True. The chair exists. The table exists. The sun exists. The moon exists. The earth exists. Why do they exist? Why do they exist? Why do they exist? I can say table is, the chair is, right? The earth is, the moon, sun is. Why do they exist? Why that isness is there, existence is there? Because I am conscious of their existence. I am aware of their existence. If I am not aware of their existence, they are not there. True? If you are not aware of the table is not there for you. If you are not aware of the sun is not there. So who is giving existence to sun? Consciousness. Right? That's why the consciousness shines. Bhati. Bhati means shining.
Shines in the object?
No, shines. Consciousness shines by itself. Right? So now, because consciousness shines, I become aware of a table or a chair. So then when I become aware of a table or chair, the consciousness is reflected on the table or chair. There's a reflection of consciousness. Right? The consciousness gets reflected in table or chair. So then I call it as table consciousness or chair consciousness or sun consciousness or moon consciousness. Are you clear? So what is there outside is also the consciousness. As consciousness, I am giving existence to sun. As consciousness, I am giving existence to moon. They are there because of me. So I am the primary. I am giving existence to them. Are we clear? Right? So shining means bhati. Bhati means shining. I shine. The consciousness shines. I don't need anybody to tell me I exist. I am self-luminous. I know I exist. Right? I know I exist. Then only I know something else exists. So that's called I know I exist. It's called bhati. And I know something else exists because of my reflection on that, consciousness reflection on that. That's called pratibhati. Pratibhati means reflection. Because of reflection, I see. The world is a reflection of myself, consciousness. Right? So let me use the word consciousness is bhati. As consciousness, as chit, I am bhati. Okay? What is the mind? The mind consciousness is pratibhati, reflection. The body consciousness is pratibhati, reflection. The world consciousness is pratibhati, reflection. I am bhati. I shine. Mine is original light. What is that original light? Atma Jyoti, light of the self. Everything else is a reflection, pratibhati. I am the Atma Jyoti. I am the light of the self. Everything shines in the is appearing in this light of self, reflection. Everything else is pratibhati, right? I am the consciousness. I am bhati. Okay, the consciousness reflects on the mind, then it becomes mind consciousness. Mind is pratibhati. When it reflects on the body, it becomes body consciousness. It's called body is pratibhati. When it falls on the chair consciousness, chair is pratibhati. Are we clear? So now, do I experience anything other than consciousness in the world? Is there a world other than consciousness? The world is nothing but consciousness only. Even though it appears and disappears, but reality is consciousness only. Are you understanding what I'm saying? Everything in the world is nothing but conscious. I am bhati. I am the light. I am the light of self, Atma Jyoti. Consciousness. And what is shines in my light? So that's pratibhati, reflection. Reflection of my face in the mirror is my face. So what I am seeing as the world, as this infinite world, is nothing but myself as reflection, pratibhati. So as consciousness, is there a limitation for me? Are you getting what I'm saying? As body, there is a limitation. As body conscious, there is a limitation. As pure consciousness, is there a limitation for me? I am infinite. But I am always constantly seeking knowledge, this knowledge or other knowledge. Why? Because I am feeling limited by knowledge. The consciousness is knowledge. I am of the nature of infinite knowledge, Ananta. Because everything, the whole universe is pratibhati, shining because of me. I give existence to the world. Right? See, I'll use another way. The chair means chair exists. Table means table exists. Okay. The sun means sun exists. Right. The easiness is because of pratibhati. I am, I exist. That's why the easiness is appearing. If I don't exist, that easiness is not there. The chair is because of my existence. The table is because of my existence as consciousness. They're all reflections. Okay. And the easiness of a table or a chair, the table is, chair is. Why? It represents the existence aspect of table or chair, right? The chair is means chair exists. The table is means table exists. The sun is means sun exists, right? This existence aspect is called Sat. Right? Or Asti. Existence is called Asti, Sat. The existence is appearing as table, existence is appearing as chair, existence is appearing as sun. Why it is appearing as existing sun or table or chair? Because my consciousness is shining on that. I am there. My astitva, my consciousness is shining. I am bhati, that's pratibhati. Right? So everything has a name and form. Name and form is not reality because name and form keeps on changing. Form is continuously changing. So that's not real. That's mithya. Then what is the reality? Astitva or existence is real. The chair exists. I exist. As existence, I am infinite. I am conscious. The chair is not consciousness. In my consciousness, the chair shines. I give existence to the chair. I means as consciousness. So as consciousness, I am infinite. As existence, I am infinite. Are you clear? And that infinite is called Ananda. Okay. Asti bhati priyam. Everything in the world is priyam, means desirable. Okay. Everything in this world is desirable. Why? Why something is desirable to me? The world, anything in the world can, which gives me happiness, is desirable. Okay. Anything in the world, anything which gives me happiness is called desirable. Happiness, as we discussed earlier, happiness is my nature. Okay. Because I love my nature, I desire something from the world. Happiness is my nature. We discussed earlier, right? When the mind is craving for something, there are thoughts. When I get something, let's say mind is craving for jalebi, there are thoughts. The moment I put jalebi in my mouth, the thoughts stop. So earlier there's a duality, jalebi and me. Now the jalebi has joined me. There's non-duality. The mind has become silent. Then the nature of self ananda appears, and that I call as happiness. So I always love my nature. My love for myself, my nature is there. That's why I desire for objects of the world. Right? So that objects of the world makes me feel infinite. It brings out the nature of Ananta in me. Ananda is experienced because of objects of world. And objects of the world have Nama and Rupa. Even my body and mind has Nama and Rupa, name and form. Right? Now, no matter what I do, I can't get happiness from these objects of the world because they are mithya, unreal. They keep on changing. Right? They keep on changing. The form keeps on changing. The reality is, the form is an appearance of astitva, existence. The existence doesn't change. Existence is infinite. The table exists, the chair exists. As existence, there's no change. And I am also nature of existence. As existence, I am infinite. So once I realize that I am infinite as existence and consciousness, my desire for object is not there. Because I am infinite already. The priyam, something becomes priyam to me, or I become desirable to me, because I am trying to find my infinity, the infinite nature, happiness. That's called ananta. So the moment I feel joy, oh, I feel expanded, I feel infinity because I'm happy. But that is because I'm not recognizing my sat and chit, existence and consciousness aspect, as being infinite already. The moment I start recognizing the existence and consciousness as existence consciousness, I am infinite. The priyam or desire for any objects of the world starts coming down because I am already infinite. Something in the world becomes priyam to me or desirable to me because that gives me a sense of expansion, infinity. But my attempts to find that infinity in the object is futile because the object keeps on changing the form. The object keeps on, everything in the world is continuously changing because they are unreal. So the only way I can feel infinite is to recognize that as Sat and Chit, I am infinite. That's why Ananda. Okay. So this is meant by Asti Bhati Priyam Nama Rupa. Everything in the world exists Asti. I exist Asmi. Asti and Asmi are referring to Sat aspect of reality. Sat. Asti means exists. It's called Sat, which is called Brahman. Asmi means I exist. That means Atman, the self. Asti becomes Asmi in my reality, in my case. And in the case of the object, it becomes Asti. Chit becomes Bhati in my case. I am the shining. Consciousness shines. And every object becomes Pratibhati. Object shines in my nature. So as Bhati and Pratibhati, I am infinite. Okay. Priyam because first level Priyam because I love myself. I love myself. That's why I don't accept any limitation on my nature. Sat Chit, I am finding limited because of the body. I don't accept that because I love myself. My love for myself is primary. I love myself. But I don't accept my limitation because I love myself. That's why I love some of the objects of the world, Priyam. But I am not finding happiness in the objects of the world because objects of the world are changing. Right? The only way I can realize happiness is to recognize that as Sat Chit, I am infinite. The essence of the world is Brahman. The essence of me is Atman. They are one and the same. I exist. Okay. Sat Asmi. The world objects exist. Asti. The existence for the objects is given by me, my consciousness. I am Bhati. The world is Pratibhati. The consciousness is Bhati. The body and mind is Pratibhati. And everything is consciousness. The table consciousness, chair consciousness, sun consciousness, everything is a reflected consciousness. As consciousness, I am infinite. Pratibhati. Okay? Because of this, I realize, and I love myself. That's why Priyam. But I am finding myself limited. That's why I love the objects of the world. Okay? But objects of the world are constantly changing. Okay? Once I realize myself as Asti is same as Asmi, Bhati is same as Bhati is Pratibhati. So I am infinite as existence and consciousness. Then I am in blissful, Ananta. So as the world, I am infinite. Okay. This is with the as a jiva. Jiva I have to realize because I am seeing the world. Okay. As Sakshi, I am seeing the thoughts. As Kutastha or Brahman, I don't see the world at all. The world appears and disappears in me. As Kutastha, there's no appearance of the world. That I experience in deep sleep, that I experience in Samadhi, as Turiya. And that I experience throughout the day when there are gaps in the thoughts. There's no world, there's only I exist. Between two thoughts, there's a gap. Between two feelings, there's a gap. In that gap, I only exist. That's Kutastha or Turiya. World, I am complete, I am infinite without the world because there's no world in me as Kutastha. There's no wave in water. The water is consciousness and wave is a thought or an object of the world. There's no ornament, gold, necklace or chain in gold because gold is everything. As Kutastha, I am complete, I am infinite, I am Sat Chit Ananda. As Sakshi, I am seeing thoughts appearing and disappearing. Thoughts are also consciousness, right? And who is giving existence to thoughts? I only give. The thoughts shine in my reflection. Thoughts are Pratibhati. I am Bhati. Okay. So I am complete as Sakshi also. I am complete as Jiva also because the Jiva and the world is the body and the mind in the world is nothing but existence. As existence, I am infinite. As consciousness, I am infinite. So I'm a body, right? Body exists. Is body a part of existence? Body is not a part of it. Existence has no parts. Existence is one reality, one totality. Existence is appearing as body. It doesn't mean that existence is broken into body. Existence is a piece called body. I give existence to body. As existence, I am infinite. As body, I'm not a part of existence. I am existence myself. The existence is infinite. Existence has no parts.
Necklace is not a part of God.
Necklace is not a part of gold. Necklace is gold. The body is not a part of existence. Body is existence. So as Jiva also I am infinite. Don't think that as Jiva I have become finite. Our ignorance is because I am thinking I am only body. The moment I think I am existence, I am consciousness, I am blissful. I am Sat Chit Ananda. So this is what is meant by Asti Bhati Priyam Nama Rupa. Nama Rupa belongs to the objects of the world. Asti Bhati Priyam belongs to the Brahman, the reality of the world. Asti Bhati Priyam is the reality of the world.
Priyam also.
Yeah. Asti Bhati Priyam is the reality of the world. So with respect to me, the same with this, that's Brahman. Asti Bhati Priyam. Asti means exists. Bhati means shines. Priyam means desirable. Okay. Asti Bhati Priyam belongs to the universe. With respect to me, the same Asti Bhati, with respect to Atma, the same Asti Bhati Priyam becomes Asmi, Bhami. Okay. And Priyam, I love myself. And in my light, the world is Pratibhati, objects are shining. Okay. And I exist, the entire universe is existing, and I give the existence to the world in terms of Pratibhati. So in this way, we can realize we are the whole totality, not just like Jiva. Jiva is only illusion that I am the body. In reality, we understand our true nature. We are infinite. It is like this. When you take a mud glass, okay, mud glass has a name and form. We can drink water, but it is mud only. As mud, the glass is infinite. As glass, mud is finite. As Sat Chit Ananda, I am infinite. As body, Sat Chit Ananda is finite. As mud, as glass, just give me the glass, mud glass. Here. So, is this glass is limited in nature? This you can put water, and it's a name and form, Nama Rupa. But the glass is mud only. If I see the mud here, as mud it's infinite. If I see glass here, it's finite. So what you see makes a difference. If you see yourself as Sat Chit, then you are Ananda, bliss. If you see yourself as body, then you are limited. The same Sat Chit Ananda, which is Brahman, appears to be limited because of the body. Appears to be because there's no limitation. The water appears to be wave, but water has no boundary. Sat Chit Ananda appears as body, and it appears to be limited. It is not limited, it's infinite. So the question is, what you define yourself as? You define yourself Sat Chit, or you define yourself as body. So once you start realizing, I am Sat Chit, which anyway you know, you have no problem in understanding I am Sat Chit. I exist and I conscious. Always you say, when you say I am, you are always saying I exist and I am conscious. You are always saying, but you have a problem in understanding Ananda. Now, why you are of the nature of Ananda, I am explaining you. You are already Ananda. You don't have to get Ananda. You don't have to be happy by some objects of the world. You are already blissful, because the entire world shines in your light, shines in your consciousness. Your body shines in your consciousness. So everything is pratibhati. The body consciousness, the world consciousness, everything you see is a totality of consciousness, which is infinite consciousness, which is you. The body exists, the chair exists, sun exists, everything is existence. As existence, you are infinite. As consciousness, you are infinite. Once you start realizing yourself as consciousness and existence, you're no longer a limited body. You don't have to drop the I'm not the body. You have to understand that this is all infinity. Of course, you also understand that the world appears and disappears, but still nothing happens to me. This is the meaning of the sloka. I'll chant. Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamuduchyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Avashishyate. Purnamadaha, consciousness is Purna, means total, infinite. There's no limitation for that. Right? Purnamidaha, this world is infinite. How it's infinite? Ignore the name and form. If you ignore the name and form, what is there? There is existence and consciousness reflected. Sat, Chit. This is Purna when you remove the name and form. I am Bhati, the world is Pratibhati, reflected. I am consciousness, the table and chair and sun is sun consciousness, table consciousness, chair consciousness, as a reflection, Pratibhati. Purna Midam, this is also Purna. The world is also Purna. How? As Sat Chit, as reflection. Okay. And that's why I'm Ananda. Purnat Purna Buddhuchade. Everything, this world appeared from Purna, which is myself, which is pure consciousness, awareness. The body, the mind, and the world appear in pure consciousness. Ujjat Ujjate. Purnasya Purnamadaya. They disappear in pure consciousness. When? In deep sleep, in samadhi, even every minute actually. When thought appears, it appears, and thought disappears. I am there in my nature. From my nature of Atma, from my nature as Brahman, from my nature as self, not even a single moment I have changed. I'm always Atma, I'm always Brahman. But when I stand as the body, I become Jiva. When I stand as mind, I witness. When I observe the mind, I become Sakshi. When I go back to myself, I'm Kutastha. There's no going back and coming back. It's only understanding which position I'm taking. Right? I take various positions in life, right? Sometimes I become a husband, sometimes I become a father, sometimes I become officer. It's only position I'm changing. Like that, throughout the day, I keep shifting my position. Sometimes I become Jiva, sometimes I become Sakshi, sometimes I am Atma only, Brahman only. Throughout the day. It is not that something you have to gain. You are already there. That is the meaning of Tattvamasi. You are already there. Please don't try to become Brahman. You are already Brahman. You have to recognize you are Brahman all the time. Any questions? You are always in your nature. Between two thoughts, you are already Brahman. Between two thoughts, you are Atma. Atma is Brahman. Okay? Between two feelings, you are already Brahman. Gap is there. Right? And when you observe your thoughts, when you know that my mind is, there are no thoughts in my mind, you are Sakshi already. When between two thoughts, you are already Kutastha, Atma, Brahma. So, as Atma or Brahma, you are not chained at all. It is like this, sir. You get up in the morning, you go to, okay, your name is, let's say, Ram. Mr. Ram gets up in the morning. When he goes to the office, he sees called director. Mr. Director has come. When he meets his wife, Mr. Husband has come. When he meets his son, Mr. Father has come. But what has to happen to Mr. Ram? Mr. Ram is same. So like that, you are Atma. You are always Atma same. Sometimes you play the role of Jiva. Sometimes you play the role of Sakshi. Sometimes you play the role of Brahman. But you are the same. And you don't have to become anything. Tattvamasi, you don't have to change yourself to become something. You have to recognize that you are the same Atma all the time. No, I'll do a lot of sadhana to become recognize Tattvamasi. Wrong. You have to recognize Tattvamasi. You are already that. You're only playing different roles at different points of time. And even if he plays the role of Mr. Director or Mr. Husband or Mr. Father, Ram remains same. Similarly, Atma is Atma when it plays the role of Jiva, or when it plays the role of Sakshi, or it plays the role of Brahman, or any other role it plays, still Atma is same. And you are that Atma. As Atma, you are Sat Chit Ananda, infinity. The world is my own appearance. I appear as world. I means realize, consciousness. So, did you understand real nature of the world? So, this is the meaning of real nature of the world. It's Atma Swarupa. The nature of the world is Atma Swarupa. World is Mithya, but it is Satya as Atma Swarupa, because Atma is always Satya. I am always Satya. Are you clear? Shall we close for the day?